Yokomo kit. Great stuff. Great stuff. But before we start, we gotta start all the other lives. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, look, this time it's probably one of the first times ever that I pressed the button and all the lives started exactly when they were supposed to. But before we start, let's always introduce the sponsors, because in the back in the old days, I never tooted my horn. But I guess people said that if you're on YouTube, you have to keep showing off and stuff. So I don't know. So I'm gonna show off today. I'm gonna talk about all the cool, awesome sponsors we have. We have like Shongmei, we have Color Farm, we've got D Domisol, and what else do we have? Excellent. Again, if you're good at makeup, or you use makeup and you want to go ahead and get yourself some cleaners, a system to clean up your brushes, you should go get yourself one of these. Anyway, there we go. Now that that's out of the way, I wanted to talk about DJI and RC, the hobby and all that stuff. Before you drive one of these vehicles, or in some cases one might say a drone, like a DJI drone, you should go and follow Original Dobo's advice. It is very important to do an eye calibration before you fly. And so, I thought I'd just show you guys one of the books that you can buy these days to teach yourself how to calibrate your eyes. He does a good job of it too. So anyway, I watched that video this morning about him doing a range test on the DJI Mini 3, because it's out there, it's finally out there, and it's pretty fantastic. So if you haven't seen that video, you should go check it out. Original Dobo. Stay original, my friend. Anyway, he made my day. He put a big smile on my face this morning. So I was watching that video and I thought it was really, really fun. So I thought I'd let you guys know so you guys can go check it out too. All right. So far what we have here is the drift kit in a pretty good assembled form so far. We have not put the suspension systems on yet, and I have a strong feeling that maybe I installed part of the suspension system backwards, because you see here, these things here should be in the front here so that I can attach the suspension from that part over here to this part over here. But in the back, obviously, because I was reading instructions that are in Japanese, so I can't really do that much. I obviously installed this part the wrong way. It should be facing this way. So I guess we'll have to fix that real quick, because it'd be really dodgy if it's in the wrong spot. Anyway, one of the things that I really don't like about all these kits, and it's true about this kit, it's true about Exceed RC, it's true about pretty much every kit that I've ever assembled in the history of kits. They never really have a good spot to place some of the electronics, like these ESCs and extra bits and bobs. It's always very, very poorly structured. So what most people end up doing is they'll grab some kind of stickers, or like a double-sided sticker, and they'll attach things like on here or on top of the servo, which, it's like, seriously, if you're gonna build a kit like this, right, at least have somewhere, right, that is designed specifically for the task. So people just get creative, as I said before, and they'll either stick it on here or stick it on here, but it's, it's not very eloquently, put together, in my opinion. And I've only built like maybe, I don't know, at least 6 up to 10 kits over the years, plus used a lot of the ready-to-run systems, but all of them seem to have this problem. And now somebody in the audience is going to go, shut up! he always got something negative to say. Well, if you don't have anything negative to say, there's no progress. No progress can be made without somebody raising their hands like that poor guy, that Eli the computer guy always puts his foot in his mouth. He does that too, a lot. But anyway, some people like us, we just say like stuff and we get in trouble. Anyway, so that'll be interesting. I just realized that thing about the suspension right now, that is backwards. And well, maybe, just maybe, before I try to install the next part, I should do a calibration test on my eyes. Yeah, I think we really got to go with Adobo. Be original. Calibrate your eyes also before building your RC products. It's important to do so, because otherwise you might install something backwards like I did. Yay me. So we do have the instructions. I do actually read the instructions. And then I fail at installing the things that I should have done. But anyway, back in the other part where I was explaining to you guys how to assemble the springs or the suspension system, there's also another thing that I did wrong in one of the previous videos, which is I installed the, there are these little tiny bits that go in there and they stop they're round basically, and the rubber, and they stop the juices, or basically the oils, from getting out. So I did not read the instructions correctly on that one either. There's two kinds. There are transparent ones and there are black ones. The black ones go on the exterior bit on out here, I discovered, while the transparent ones go on the inside here to stop the fluid from getting out. So there's another thing that I could have learned if I knew Japanese. The ignorance of some people, right? Some people just never learn. All right, so let's see if we can find the tools that are required to start doing some building. We can actually get to building something today. So if I could find those little doohickeys. You see, this is the other thing, right? You have this squirrel syndrome where you're getting ready to do something, and then you got all these bags because these kits have so many parts, right? So many parts to deal with. And so then you're like, well, last time, which was maybe a couple of days ago, I was building the kits and I thought I knew where all the parts were. I like that in this kit, they give you a lot of things, such as these tools here. Very useful. If you didn't have these tools, you'd have to buy your own. And they are very well put together, those tools there. And you also get some little wrenches, which I put in this bag for safekeeping. I try to keep everything super organized because otherwise, squirrel! And before you know, you've lost it. You lost your marbles, as they say. Okay, so there we go. Let's start unscrewing these bits here, because obviously the suspension goes from, if you can see here, from this part here to this part here. So if that's backwards, that's a big no-no right there. We're gonna try to, let's make sure, oh no, that's the smaller one. You need the slightly larger one. Fits nicely in there, and luckily I did not screw it in too tight. You see, one of the things that they tell you is use Loctite. Sure. When you are 100% sure that your thing is running as it should, then by all means add some Loctite. Add some Loctite indeed. But until then, make sure that you don't, because if you do, and I think, I wonder if I screwed up on multiple fronts here. Before I actually just reinstall this on the other way, let's double check the instructions here real quick. I think maybe I just installed the whole thing backwards, so maybe I don't need to do that. What I need to do is turn the whole thing. Okay, so that was unnecessary. There are four screws that will then be what I need to do here. I will have to unscrew all four of those. I thought it was just going to be easy. Never think that it's going to be easy. All right, so what I need to do is uninstall. There are four screws here that are connecting this together, and I have to uninstall those and turn the whole thing backwards. But that might be a problem too, because I've also attached a bunch of other things on there. So great, yay me. And the thing is with some of these parts is they look, and obviously they fit in place, even if you do it wrong. So is that a good thing about the way that this kit is manufactured? We could possibly say no on that one. It's better when it's obvious, you know, like there's only one way that it goes in, that kind of deal. But again, you know, there's going to be people who don't agree with me on that. Because now I just realized that there's a whole bunch of other bits that may need to be reversed as well. So what I thought was going to be like a 2-minute job is probably going to be more than that. Oh, well. Oh, well, right? Oh, well, guys. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great time at home, doing whatever you guys do in early mornings on a Saturday. I like to build stuff. Imagine that. There aren't a lot of people who like to build stuff anymore, I don't think. Everybody's like buying the ready-to-run kits, and I understand. Building stuff requires a lot of fiddling, as you are witnessing right now. Fiddling. And again, like, if you do have proper instructions, it makes it easier. But if you are like me and are in love with a lot of the Japanese and other non-American stuff, then you have to guesstimate your instructions, because sometimes they won't be what you expect. The bad thing about this now is that if I want to reverse it, I need to disconnect these pieces. These pieces tend to be very snug once they go in. It's hard to remove them. It was hard enough to put them in to begin with. And I don't want to break. Oh, this is the hard part. I really do not want to break that. And the other problem is I couldn't just unscrew those bits, could I? We could try to just go in there and unscrew these bits, but maybe we can. All right, let's do that, because if you, one of the things that I've learned over the years is if you remove those things once they've gone in, there's a pretty good chance that sometimes you'll break it or you'll loosen it too much and then they keep popping out. So the better solution is, as we're seeing here, or not seeing here, because it went off camera for a second, is just unscrew it. Unscrew it. Luckily, that's a possibility we've just discovered, so we'll do that. Because the Wizard of Oz. So, a lot of people buy these kits and then they give up because they are pretty complex to assemble. But the point is, don't try to be perfect, because that's one of the biggest issues that we have in modern society. Everyone wants to be perfect, right? You want to be perfect. And when you try to be perfect, some of us are just not perfect. So then a lot of people get frustrated and they fail and they give up. So if you don't set your expectations too high and you try to be a little bit comedic about stuff, then you won't go nuts. You won't go crazy with yourself. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do it. There's no reason to be perfect. There's not a gun to your head saying, you must install it perfectly from the beginning. You will make mistakes, and so just correct them. Just correct them as you go, right? Correct them as you go. Yeah, unfortunately, when I used to teach in school, the kids loved me. The teachers and the other people in the school did not love me as much because I said stuff to people that they were against. Gosh, oh golly. That's the problem when you are too conservative to be liberal and too liberal to be conservative, too crazy to be liberal, to be middle of the road. What is that? Libertarian? I don't know. Anyhow, enough with the politics. When you don't fit into any box, it's hard for people to like you. Just too strange for this reality. And in some cases, the algorithm would say, invisible to, and as I said before in the past, or maybe on a video, or maybe I posted it to the main wall. On YouTube, there's a main wall that nobody ever sees because it's a new feature of YouTube that was just recently added within the past, I think, a year or so. They added a wall, just like on Instagram. But this is on YouTube. So nobody ever watches it because people don't really know how to find it. And so, anyhow, so I'm going to start a new service. Because there's a lot of people like Ellen DeGeneres, good friend of mine. And she said that she's done with the paparazzi. She's done with being famous. She wants to become invisible. So I told her, picked up the phone, said, hey, Ellen, I got your back. Honey, don't worry. All you got to do is step into my aura and you will become yet another figment of the universe's imagination. Nobody will see you ever again. Don't worry. Just do that. It works great on the YouTube algorithm. It works great on most of the social media apps too. Just hang out with me. You will fall off the earth. You will be invisible. Nobody will know you exist. So, so I saved her life. She was very grateful. So now every so often when she feels like the paparazzi are too much, she comes over to my house. Not really my house. The house where I live in. She comes over here and she disappears for a little while. Yep. Nobody can find her. Oh, guys, if you ever want to become famous in any way on social media, don't do what I do. Do the opposite and you might actually be found. It's the ultimate joke when you're an actual local Google guide, right? You're a local Google guide, but nobody can find your stuff. Can't find it ever. All right, so as you can see here, we have installed it backwards, which now is the correct way. So again, don't be too hard on yourselves. You will fail. You will fail at some point in your life, but just don't make a big fuss out of it. Try again. It will work for you eventually. Unlike some other things. In some cases, things will not work out for you. I missed the boat on a lot of things. I missed the boat on 3D printing. I missed the boat on making movies for Hollywood. I missed the boat on selling houses. I missed the boat on making money selling videos. Because every time that I was getting ready, that I was learning how to do something new, a new skill, then the government created a new certification that you needed, right? A certification to sell insurance, certification to sell houses, a certification to fly drones. And so I missed every single boat on every single one of those things. And so I was never able to make money on anything. Because you see, they do these things, right? The government thinks that they make these certifications and things. They create these laws and stuff to stop the nefarious people, the terrorists, the bad people from doing stuff. But those people don't care. Don't care. They're not going to get certified. They're not going to do any of that stuff. They're going to fly their drones into things. They're going to be bad. They're going to scam people and sell houses when they're not supposed to. They're going to do all that stuff regardless of whether, they have a certification or not. So the only people who get punished are the people who have learning disabilities and they want to get into an industry of any kind. And they find that it takes them it takes them longer than anyone else to learn the same skills that, normal people. The normies, they can learn and pass those tests really fast and get whatever certification really easily. Not some of the other people like myself. So we're the ones that really get punished when all those ridiculous certifications and requirements get put in place. So yeah, but that's okay. Don't worry. This is the new world. This is the new world where very soon you'll need a certification to breathe air. You'll need a certification to clean toilets. There will be no jobs that will be exempt from some kind of ridiculous certification to be done, right? It's not like in the old days, like America was the land of opportunity. You could just go to America and with no experience at all, you could just learn things on the job. Those days are over, guys. Those days are over. Now, if you want to do anything like that, you got to go to China. You got to go to China, sometimes Europe, where in some places, very few, maybe even the third world it's even better, maybe. Some of those places, they don't have the certifications for. You can just learn on the job. Now, I'm not saying learn on the job if you're dealing with dangerous things, but selling houses, come on. Flying drones, give me a break. Seriously. Anyway, especially if you're flying the drones that have prop guards and that are under 250 grams, why would you stop people from making money? Anyway, the world just got a whole lot dumber. But yeah. So anyway, looks like I will be able to get this done as it should, and the suspension will work just great. Let's see if I can install the suspension bit first. This part here got stuck over there, and we don't want that because that could damage something else, such as gears, and we don't want to damage gears. As I explained in the previous live stream, once you damage the gears and the pinion on this bit here, it kind of brings your whole vehicle to a screeching halt. And then you need to get a new one, which is expensive, but not that expensive. So get a new one instead of throwing the whole vehicle in the landfill, because the cool thing about all of these kits is the parts are very well made and you can recycle them. So even if you destroy a kit, you could always use those spare parts for a different kit. So that's why I advocate this a lot. And on occasion, I can convince some people to who have broken their old kits to send me their old parts because maybe they don't want them anymore. But I do. I'll take your charity. I'll take your broken old parts because I got a use for it. So feel free to send them over to me. I will take very good care of your broken RC cars, RC planes, RC whatever. If you got those, send them to me. You broke them, instead of throwing them in the landfill doesn't want them. It has no use for them. I'll take whatever spare parts you have and I will use them to create new projects. I do that a lot. Sometimes I'll even go on eBay and since I can't afford a lot of the good stuff, the new stuff, I'll buy broken parts. That's actually one of the things that I told one of my good subscribers that came on the YouTube channel, and they were like, my Monoprice Mini, I think it was the resin printer, has an issue. How can I get spare parts? And I said, eBay, sometimes you can find spare parts. They'll sell bits as broken parts, and they turn out to be great. Very, very good. All right, so there we go. I'm big on recycling. So yeah, on my YouTube channel, I've hit all the important bits that the virtual signalers and stuff like that want you to hit. They say if you buy VR cameras and do VR videos, they will promote your channel. Hasn't happened yet. They said if you talk about 3D printing, they might promote your channel. 15 years on YouTube, still nothing. They said if you do video game walkthroughs, that you might get more views on YouTube. I hit that button, nothing. If you do Raspberry Pi tutorials, they said you might get some extra points and views. I've done that. Didn't work out. So, like, when they keep screaming at you saying, the reason you're failing is this, the reason you're failing is this, the reason you're failing is this, they're all lies. It's just that, Hollywood hasn't decided, or Disney hasn't decided to pick me up. And that's really the truth. The truth of the matter is, unless Disney or Hollywood decides that you are worthy of the attention, you will continue to be invisible. You may be super famous in your industry. You may be super famous for being the most pesky reviewer in the history of your reviewers. You may be great at losing your parts, like what I just did right now. I'm in the middle of doing something and squirrel! Where's my wrench? Oh no, it's right here, look. So you may be very adept at doing all kinds of ridiculous things. And in your industry, you may be super famous. Maybe you're a broker and you're great at whatever, or you're famous in the cryptocurrency, but nobody will know your name unless Hollywood or Disney decide to start plastering your face everywhere. Then you might have a shot in hell at being famous. So yeah, welcome to the world of social media, where only those blessed by Disney and Hollywood get a shot at being famous. Or you could break the rules. But don't break the rules. Don't break the rules, and definitely do not break the law ever. Because that is the mother of all evil. Then you get into real trouble. So don't do that. Occasionally you can break the rules. Is what my buddy, what's his name? Schwartzy. Arnold Schwarzenegger. He tells people to break the rules sometimes. That actually works occasionally. But only until they figure out the loophole that you've broken. And so that only works for a couple of minutes. Once they figure out the loophole, they create a new certification. They create a new certification that you need to have. And so you spend all the time learning one skill, and now you have to learn this brand new skill or whatever. And they stop you from earning. Oh, the misery. Everybody wants to be my enemy. But I tell them, why can't we be friends? 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 I don't know. I'm very friendly. Trust me. If we're not friends, it's not because of me. Trust me, it's not because of me. It's just you decided that you didn't want to be my friend, and you blocked me on social media. Oh boy, I'm gonna get some funny comments. Although I don't know why. I don't know. There's that guy. What's his name? Tom Lee RC. He gets a lot of comments on a lot of nasty grams. I don't get any. I set all the options on my YouTube to let through all the comments. I never see any of those nasty grams. I must be doing something wrong or something right. Or the most likely scenario is YouTube is hiding comments from me. It does it all the time. The other time I tried, somebody actually left a comment and I responded to the comments and then nothing. The abyss. I don't know. Maybe in 10 years after I'm dead, just like you guys didn't see the wall because nobody ever checks the wall. But the other day I accidentally showed up on the Twitter account. You guys know that I don't like Twitter. I don't use Twitter. But I did a search for myself on Twitter and I popped up in the search engine again. And I discovered that Ellen DeGeneres sent me in a message a while back, and she said, I like what you've done with Sir Champ, because there's this really cute dog, Sir Champ. He's very famous. You see, he's very famous in Irvine, California, Woodbridge, and nearby areas, but nobody knows of him anywhere else because he was only on the DeGeneres show a couple of times. Hollywood didn't bless him. But anyway, the poor dog, I love the dog, unfortunately passed away. But anyway, back in the day when I was making cartoons of this amazing dog, with the help of some amazing artists, Ellen DeGeneres saw one of the cartoon videos and she was like, oh, this is really cool. Why don't you send me some of your stuff on Instagram? I didn't get that message until like maybe a couple of days ago when I checked on the Twitter. And the message was sent maybe like 5 years ago. So there we go. Another opportunity missed thanks to the algorithms of social media. They're absolutely pointless. I don't even know why people bother with those things anymore. But anyway, missed opportunities because of algorithms of doom. So yeah, there we have it. So we're in pretty good shape. We've gone and we've rebuilt this whole part here, and it took forever because if you're talking and doing, that slows down my process, and very slow in multitasking brains. I don't know. They say that the women do a lot better at this kind of thing, and I think it's probably true because I've just demonstrated on the channel that my manliness must have gotten in the way of multitasking. So I got carried away with the stuff that I was saying. The only time when this actually does not really affect me is when I fly drones. I can fly drones really well while talking, and I am 100% focused. 100% focused. And also, yeah. So there are a few situations in which my brain is not a hindrance. But this, today, obviously, is not one of those cases. Especially now, because I need to find... And I mentioned this at the beginning of the video. I don't know how I remember this. It is selective memory, probably. There were 4 awesome little round bits that are used to go here in the suspension system, because the bottom part clicks into place, but the top part needs those round bits. And now I'm looking through all the bags going, where be those round bits? Ah, here they are. Excuse my burps. Oh my. Oh my. That's what happens when you're doing a live stream. You can't cover things up. You can't edit things out. They just happen. That's why I love live streams, because at the end of the video, I don't have to spend ages editing when you didn't need editing anyway, right? What's all this editing for? The spoon feeding. It will not happen. It will not happen on this channel. Except if somebody's an awesome sponsor and they did me a solid, then I will do some spoon feeding so that you can find their products on the channel. Ow. All right, so that went in pretty well. And then this goes, so you push this piece into place. It takes thumbs of steel. So if there's a better tool that you guys know that works better than thumbs of steel, you could use that. But I just, oh gosh. If I was Tommy RC, I would be getting a lot of comments right now. Anyway. I'm not Tommy RC, so I won't get any comments on YouTube or otherwise. I'm just kidding, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Like, you guys are always awesome. And at least on TikTok, Big O Live, and what is it, Likey. I think I said them all. TikTok. I get lots of comments on there, so thank you guys for doing that. Here on YouTube, occasionally there's maybe like 1 or 2 people that show up. At the current time, the monitor is saying 0. But I think at the very beginning of the video, 1 awesome person showed up. So don't want to leave them out of the love-a-thon, so we'll do that. Okay, let me connect this other piece here, and as you saw there, this little tiny things hold this in place. I can't tell you that I'm a big fan of that because it feels like it's a little bit flimsy. A lot of the other kits that I've worked on have a screw that holds it in place. This is just being held together by, ow, thumbs of steel, my butt. Heine. I meant to say Heine. So yeah. Ow, that really hurt. So anyway, this little thing is tiny. It's tiny and it's holding this suspension in place. I don't know. There's a few engineering flaws in this kit. Will they affect the performance of the kit? I don't know. But let me tell you something. For one thing, you see these things here? I feel like maybe I should install them on the other side because they look like they're wonky and they're kind of interfering with the placement of the suspension. The suspension is struggling to go up and down and is colliding with this. So perhaps the better thing to do would be to install these on the other side, which is going to be like another 10 minutes work where I have to uninstall the whole thing and hope for the best. But again, in some of these kits, it feels like it's just, I don't know, maybe not that well put together. And I'm kind of surprised because Yokomo, to me, my favorite is Tamiya. Tamiya is my favorite. But I thought that Yokomo would have something amazing here, and I'm not sure how this is going to go up front because, yes, this will definitely have a great turning radius, it looks like, but I have a feeling that it could be a little bit flimsy. The only lucky thing with all this is that RC drift cars are not made to go to the moon like Kevin Talbot does. He sends things to the moon off ramps and stuff. So it's just supposed to be drifting on a relatively flat surface. So maybe it won't require that much torque, and the G-forces, whatever, won't snap these things out of place. But I am a little bit disappointed that this is all that we have to connect it up, and maybe in some cases Exceed RC and Red Cat Racing have done a better job because you have screws and stuff to hold these in place. But again, this is also a drift kit, so you wouldn't expect this to be flying off a jump. Or would you? I don't know. I personally wouldn't fly it off a jump, but you guys can do whatever you want. Anyway. There we have it, guys. There we have it, guys. I'm going to install the front suspension on the front here, and then I think I'm going to have to go because, as you guys can see, unfortunately, the batteries on all the devices are going, and that is unfortunate, but it is the limitation that we have. Maybe at some point when I get rich, which is never going to happen, maybe after I die, somebody else will get rich. Maybe Charles or Steve, who also have access to the channel. They might get rich off the stuff that I do. Because until then, I don't really plan to monetize. Ow. Ow, that hurt. Thumbs of steel. Thumbs of steel. They might decide to monetize the channel after I'm gone. Yeah, I don't plan to do that. I have been trying to figure out how to get things AdSense to run, and it doesn't really run. I'm very confused at how that works. There should be just a button, right? If you're really trying to help your content creators, you just have a button, right? You press the button and it activates whatever, and you should be able to, at this point in time, what are we, in 2022? It's really preposterous that YouTube doesn't have ways of getting paid through like PayPal or Paxum, that you could automatically get verified with things like YOT verification. I think it's really, really backwards. It's just backwards that a lot of things that YouTube does and a lot of the other platforms do, they're just not together with the times. They're just not up to speed with the times. So anyway, this is looking pretty good, except that I just realized that there's something going wrong with the way that I've set up this wheel here. It is obviously not pointing straight as it should. And so there's going to be a lot of fiddling going on over here, which will happen obviously off camera. It takes a long time to fiddle with these things to make sure that everything is flush and ready to go for drifting. So thank you so much, guys, for joining me on this little adventure here. We've accomplished almost nothing, but that's my fault because of my skills. But eventually, as I said before, don't be too hard on yourselves. Live a little, be a little bit ironic, and eventually, if you work hard enough, you'll get there someday, somehow. So yeah, I'll see you guys over the rainbow, and yeah. Take care, guys. Have an awesome weekend, and yeah, have fun. Have fun. Thanks for joining me on this journey. Every app has a different button area. I'm a master of button pressing. Or not. It's still live. What? What? I don't know. Okay, guys. So this is my favorite part of the show, as always, where we get to see how many amazing people showed up to watch us and join and participate in this crazy adventure of building the Yokomo kit over here, which has some very good things that I can say about it and some things that are a little bit strange and possibly counterproductive to what we're trying to do here. But eventually we'll fix it. Maybe we'll have to add parts from different kits to get it to do what I really want it to do. It's a little bit sad that some things are not as well manufactured as I would have hoped, but hey, we're getting there. We're getting there. So thanks for watching, guys. And let's see. This time the participation rate, and again, it's hard because it's an early Saturday morning, so most people are sleeping at this point. We had about 62 on TikTok. We had about 406 on Likey and about 185 on Big O Live. I'm thinking of adding Cherry TV, but you guys shouldn't know about that because that's not appropriate for kids. So anyway, take care, guys. Love you all, and remember that before you build a kit, if you're gonna make lots of mistakes, you should probably do a visual calibration, like my friend Original Dobo. Let's do this real quick. because the Wizard of Oz. If you guys don't know who Original Dobo is, what's the matter with you? Go find out. Go find out anyway. Original Dobo is right there. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll just do a quick ending here so you guys can see that we have focused on the numbers. I wasn't making them up. 62, 406, and 185. My favorite chef is not helping a lot today with the autofocus. And so, hocus pocus. I'll see you all in the next one. Let's make sure that we show a lot of the cool, awesome warriors that inspire me when I make these videos, and I feel a lot more comfortable when I know that they're there. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have an amazing day.